Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, OAU students. I'm very, very excited to finally be getting down to doing this webinar despite all the delays we had. And I'm very much certain that every single one of us, whether we are graduates already or undergraduates, we are going to benefit massively from this very first seminar. And we are going to actually be looking at, without wasting time, job recruitment in the 21st century, telling you everything that new graduates should know. Not just new graduates, even the old graduates, even those that are still in their undergraduate years, you are going to benefit massively from this seminar, as I will be showing to you how to secure gainful employment in the 21st century. When I talk about employment, I'm not just talking about full-fledged job. I'm talking about internship as well, and I'm talking about IT placement opportunities. Now, that's out of the way. My name is Daniel Ogwefun. I'm a senior consultant, Mega Rich Network and Consult Limited. I believe that some of you know me already. Now, if that is understood, the question is, why is this training even necessary? Talking about trainings on job interviews, generally job hunting, recruitment in this era we are. Why is it of massive importance? Is it necessary? Why this training safe on job interview? Why don't we do trainings on why are we not doing a training on something like maybe scholarship opportunity or crypto or forex or any of all those other stuff? Because trainings on job interviews, you would agree with me, they are very, very rare. These things, most of these things rather, are not taught in the four walls of the tertiary institution. The major reason why many of us are in this institution, are in OAU, the major reason is that after your 4 years, 5 years, or 6, 7 years course, as the case may be, whether you are reading non-C, you are reading main-C on any of the engineering courses, science courses, or arts, or business courses, or even educational courses, the key reason is that why a large percentage of persons attend tertiary institution is that upon graduation, they will secure gainful employment opportunities. Or when they are going for their IT placements, they will get a place of IT that will not just recognize their skill sets and give them a handshake, but still give them some stipends and pay them well. So this training has become very, very important, because these things, what it takes for you to secure such opportunities, they are not taught in the four walls of the classroom, even in this 21st century. Yes, I mentioned gainful employment because let me tell you this. Anybody can be employed, but there is a difference between just being employed and being gainfully employed. If you graduate from an institution like this, a university like OAU, well recognized all over the world, not just in Nigeria or Africa, all over the world, you graduate from an institution like this, you have spent 4 years reading a course, or 5 years, or some of these courses like you spend 6 years reading a course, or 7 years when you add your internship to it, reading a course. Then in the end, they are now dropping 80,000 naira, 100,000 naira into your account as pay package. I am telling you this, you are underemployed. You are not gainfully employed. For you to be gainfully employed, especially with what is happening in the Nigeria economy right now, you have to be receiving from 200, 250 and above. Yes, there are professionals, even non-professionals, that are being paid this not just as consultants, but graduates, if you know how to go about these things. And that is why this training is very, very important. Now, that is being said, if there is a difference between gainful employment and being underemployed, since anybody can be employed, even somebody that has not graduated, somebody that you can be employed and you are being paid 40,000 naira, just that you are underemployed. So we are more interested in gainful employment. So what are those steps for anyone, for you as a graduate of OAU or an undergraduate of still in OAU, you are going for internships, you are after an internship program outside your school for you to secure gainful employment as an IT student or full-fledged graduate. There are 3 key stages. The first stage is the job search stage. The second one is the aptitude test stage, and the third one is the interview stage. And we are going to be looking into all this in details. And every one of these stages is very, very, very important. Of course, some companies, they might skip the aptitude test stage. We are going to come to that. But basically, we have the job search stage where you track job lists. You see how to go about securing these opportunities. Yes, the opportunities are not going to drop from heaven. You have to actually go in there and dig them out and search them out. Job search stage. Then the aptitude test stage, where the aptitude tests are organized. They check out your classroom intelligence, how smart are you, your apps generally. Then the interview stage, the job proper, where you meet with the recruiting officers in person or over the phone in some cases. Now we have gotten that out of the way. Let's start with the very first stage, talking about the job search stage. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the job stage entails tracking those job lists. That's all the steps that you are going to take, that you will need to take, to the initial steps, those baby steps that you will take to end up securing gainful employment, or to end up securing an interview opportunity. Because let me say this, you need to search out those jobs, you search them out, you get interviewed, you got called for an interview, and it's during the interview that will determine if you are going to get that opportunity or not. So what are those initial steps? The initial step talking about job search is that you actually have to search for these jobs. No matter how smart you are, no matter how intelligent you are, no matter the number of days you pray and pray and pray, in fact, God is not going to come from heaven, put on a 3-piece suit and give you an employment letter and say, my son, my daughter, you have prayed very, very well. You have prayed more than Moses. You have prayed more than Jesus Christ, my son. So I am now giving you a job to work in Chevron, 1.5 million naira every single month. My dear, you are dreaming. It is not going to happen. You need to actually search out this job. What are the methods of searching out these jobs or these IT placement opportunities or internship opportunities for those that go for ITs? There are different ways, and the first one is that you can actually search out for these opportunities online. Of course, you know that we are in the computer age, the information age, the AI age, the 21st century. The way things are done now, the way job search are done now, differs a whole lot from the way it was done years and years and years ago during the time of our fathers and grandfathers, even our fathers. Things are done differently now, and a whole lot of things happen online. You can search out opportunities online. How do you search out opportunities online? Take, for instance, you are interested in getting a job opportunity at NNPC, even if it's IT placement. The thing you do is that you go online and type in the opportunity you want to go for. But the only thing is that if you type in something like IT internship opportunities for undergraduates at NNPC, you are perhaps going to see 1 billion or more search results, and these searches are going to end up being irrelevant. You just see junk information there that are not really relevant to what you are searching for what you really need. So what you need to now do is make use of strings. What are strings? These are computer terms. Those in computer sciences, you understand what I'm talking about. Even those not in computer science, you must have taken 1 or 2 computer courses. You should know what a string is. A string is simply any phrase or word inside a quotation mark Take for instance something like job opportunities at NNPC for engineering graduates. If you put engineering graduate in quotes, you type in job opportunities at NNPC for, then the engineering graduate is in quotes, quotes open, engineering, quote close, graduate. The information you are going to get will be related, very relevant and related to just engineering graduates. So that is how you use strings to search for opportunities online. There are millions and myriads of opportunities online. Just put up, if you put up something like a LinkedIn profile, and even if you don't even have a LinkedIn profile, but a LinkedIn profile is very important for an undergraduate and graduate in this era, the 21st century. So that's the first part, the first thing way you can do this job search, the IT placement. Just know that anytime I make mention of job search, I'm talking about both IT and internship and job proper himself. Now, next one we have on here on the screen, we are looking at the mass media. The mass media, without doubt, is very important. The mass media talking about facilities like the broadcasting stations, NTA, the channels, TV, the newspapers, the magazines, the journals. This all entails mass media. Very lucrative opportunities relating to IT placement, relating to even scholarship opportunities, relating to job opportunities are always filtered and placed in this mass media. Take for instance, for those that read newspaper, and if you are not reading, it's a pity that in this era we are now, many of our youth don't read newspapers at all. They are not interested in reading the glamour magazine, the fashion magazines and all that. But newspapers, very important. Daily Times, The Guardian. Go to the classified section where adverts are, and you will see solid information relating to recruitment opportunities. You copy them out. If you don't have money to buy the newspaper, go to the newsstand, give them 20 naira, give them 15 naira, and just read, go through the classified section and get the information you need. Now, cold calling. What is cold calling? Cold calling is something like you don't know anyone in that particular firm. You don't have a godfather there. Let's say you are interested in doing your IT at NNPC. You don't have anyone there, but that is where you want to do your IT. You just dress up very well and stroll into NNPC and make your presence known. Not just your presence, and you let them know that you want to do your IT there. But when you are doing such thing, cold calling, you do not go to the gate man. You find out who is in the better or best position to make your appointment happen. This works massively. Cold calling shows that you have the boldness to make things happen. And most CEOs, most entrepreneurs, most company owners, or those in position, the recruiting officers, recruiting personnel managers, when they see that in you, that boldness to make things happen, you having confidence, it is a very big plus. And by the time you do it with one or two firms, you will secure an opportunity. Then the guerrilla tactics, very similar to cold calling, but this one is more rugged. It's like the elder brother of cold calling. What happened with this is that, let's say again, you are interested in working at GT Bank, but you don't know anyone at GT Bank, but you so happen to know where the personnel manager or the bank manager or one of the CEOs or the director is living. What you now do is that you go to that particular place, go to the gate there, and just hold a placard, hold a banner, announce yourself. I'm a graduate, I need a job at GT Bank. Help me, sir, or help me, madam. Stay there. They will inform the person involved, and the person involved might not take it, like say have him arrested. Even if they have you arrested, you come back the next day, sun is beating you, rain is beating you, and this continues for a day, 2 days, 3 days. My dear, you are going to definitely get the attention of the person, and you might end up getting an opportunity. I've seen this happen. I've seen it happen. Then we have personal contact, the one you call godfather, godmotherism. You know someone, and the person knows someone in position that makes things happen, and they give you an opportunity. Now, even if you have a godfather, godmother, you need to know, you need to have some basic requirement that all companies need, and that is what we are going to be dwelling on very, very much during the course of this training. Now, again, even if after getting all these opportunities, you've seen the opportunity you need, you like, you are still going to need to write what? A CV. You are going to need to write a CV and cover letters. And then the CVs and cover letter, we are going to be dwelling on them massively well. Now, what is a CV? You have gotten the appointment, you have gotten the place you are interested in working, doing your IT, your internship, and they now ask you to provide a CV. What is a CV? The CV is an acronym for curriculum vitae. It is that which represents you when you are not there. It speaks on your behalf. And that is why it's called a professional call card, because it speaks on your behalf. If you submit a CV, you are not going to be there in person to speak for yourself. It is the CV that deputizes on your behalf, and it needs to be professionally tailored in this 24th century. Now, if that is understood, you have now know the meaning of a CV, and it is also important that you know the different kinds of CV. There are a whole lot kinds of CVs, but we are going to be dwelling on the 3 most important, well-known ones. And we are talking about the functional CV, the chronological CV, or the composite, or the hybrid CV. What is the functional CV? This is the CV that highlights your skills and abilities, because at that point in time, you don't have any job skills whatsoever. You don't have any job experiences whatsoever. You just have skills, you just have abilities, and undergraduates oftentimes will be required to write functional CVs. Then we have the chronological CV, which is majorly written by those that have job experiences, and it inculcates both job experiences, skills, and abilities in a chronological order. And that is why it is called a chronological CV. Then the last of them, but not the least, the hybrid or composite CV, which inculcates the features and qualities of the chronological CV and the functional CV, where you have job experiences, you have skill sets. This kind of CV is majorly written by those going for executive position. It is very, very, very detailed, and you have pages and pages and volumes of materials to back up your portfolio. And the dream of most professionals, most career person, is that in the end they go for top positions and be writing the hybrid or composite CVs. Now, before we go into the seeing samples of these CVs per se, it is very, very important that we know the rules that govern the writing of the CV. As with most things in life, there are rules, because where there are no rules, you have anarchy, and you don't need anarchy when it comes to your CV. So the very first rule you should know as an undergraduate or graduate from OAU is that you must never title your CV for any reason whatsoever What do I mean by the titling of the CV? By titling of the CV, I mean that you see on most CVs where you put on top of it curriculum vitae. You put curriculum vitae on top of it before you now start writing your name and other details of the CV. Titling your CV not just occupies space that you would have used for other things, but you are even telling the recruiting officer that they don't know that it's a CV. The recruiting officer is smart enough to know that that document is a CV. It's not a dunce. So you don't need to remind him that this is a curriculum vitae. Remove that part of it. If you put curriculum vitae on top of your CV, it might just end up in the trash can. Then, second rule, use A4 size paper. Not foolscap size, A4 size paper, just one sheet of A4 size paper. Remember that it is a CV. You are not writing an essay or a fictional book of many pages, just a CV. That is what, where you just put your details, summarize everything, use bullet point majorly, and drive home your point, drive home your qualities, your key qualities in a proactive way. We are going to dwell on that presently. Then don't use graphics or smileys. Leave that for your social media activities. Unless you are, of course, going for the position of a graphic designer or a graphic artist or website designer. Also, another rule, do not add your snapshots. Do not add your picture, except where it is specifically asked for or you are going for a modeling position. Then don't fold the envelope. That A4 size paper, put it inside an A4 size envelope. Submit it to that company. Let it be very, very prominent. Let it be the biggest sized envelope that they are going to see. Let it catch their attention. Then avoid grammatical errors. Cross all your T's, dot all your I's. Do not photocopy. I know that students love photocopying. Photocopying itself is piracy. Do not photocopy. One reason you shouldn't photocopy is that, or two reasons rather. First, when you photocopy a material, put it in an envelope and leave it for a very long time. Let's assume that they don't get to your CV on time. It spends a month, 2 months, 3 months inside the envelope. It starts get blurring out and it starts fading away. Then also, secondly, you are telling the company that they are not important enough for you to just spend 50 or 100 naira and do an original print out. Do not photocopy your CVs and start spreading it around, making your CV go viral, the physical copies. You find it everywhere. No, not at all. Then make sure that there are no greases or smears on your CV. Do not be writing your CV you are doing makeup. You are eating chicken. You are taking ice creams or fura de nunu and all these things they spread. Just imagine a lap of chicken drops into the CV and you don't know. And you fold up the CV, you wrap it up and send it down. And the CV spent 1 month before the recruiting officers get to it. And by the time the recruiting officers open the envelope, sees a lap of chicken there that has gotten rotten. No, not at all. It's not good for you. Though this might be an exaggeration, but I've seen CVs that come with smears and greases and food particles. You have lost that opportunity at that point in time. Now, if that is noted, let's look at a sample CV and see how exactly it is done. Now, the CV you are seeing on the screen, this is a sample CV. And you see the way it is titled is that not with curriculum vitae, you have your name on there on it. You start with your surname. You see your surname here. This one is Ahime. Start with your surname, put a comma, then Jackson James. That comma that separates it lets the recruiting officers know that this is what your surname. Then there, after the surname, you now go over to the contact details. The contact details entails your address, your phone number, and your email address. Please note this. Make sure that you put your present location trackable in case the company decides to visit that location, to be sure you are who you say you are. If you have observed, sometimes when you open an account with a bank, somebody will visit your home, the address you put in that particular while filling the form, to make sure that that is where you are actually living. Companies do this as well. They want to know who you really are. Very, very important. Not PO box, but your physical location. Then we now come down to the phone number. Make sure it's your phone number and it is very, very active. And you should be the one picking your calls, so that when the company calls you, you will be the one to pick your call and respond to them, answer them. Then you now come down to the email address. Many graduates, undergraduates, they don't know how important the email address is. The email address tells a lot about your personality. It tells who you are. Just looking at an email address, you can tell a lot about that person. There are two kinds of email addresses. The first, we have the professional email addresses. Then we have the junk email addresses. What are professional email addresses? Just as the one you have on the screen now. The professional email addresses has your name on there. Like this person's name is Ahimie Jackson James, and the email is jacksonjames@hotmail.com. It could be a Gmail, it could be a Rocket Mail, it could be Jackson James 2022, 2024, 2000, as the case may be, but your name should be there. But the junk email addresses, they are not meant for professional purposes like the CV. They come in the form of something like sweetestbabe@hotmail.com, happening guy or happening babe on campus @gmail.com, runsgare@gmail.com. Imagine using an email address like runsgare@gmail.com, and you now submit it to a well-known, recognized company, and they open your CV and they are seeing runsgare@gmail.com. What are you telling them about your personality? You are simply telling them that you are a runsgare, because while opening your email, it is a psychological thing. The way you are feeling, your mood at that present in time, that is how you open your email and name it. This is a fact. Unless you already know these things, you will carry out this activity. So please make sure you have a professional email address. Even if you have other kind of emails, ruggedma@gmail, but make sure if you are writing a CV for professional documents, use professional email addresses. Then you now come down to the career objective, a short brief statement and that offers what you intend giving to that company. For this, it says to work in a challenging environment that aims at what obtaining the best from its employees and consequently recognizes and rewards production. Straight to the point, what you want to offer, what you are offering. Then we have the personal biodata, which entails the date of birth, the sex, marital status, hometown, state, and nationality. For this particular section, date of birth, please put a date like this, 10 April. The April should not have a comma, 1980. Please do not put TH on top of the 10. You now have tenth. That becomes a word, a position. It is no longer a date. So make sure that it is 10 April 1980. Now, some job requirement will say you should not be above 30 years. Some will say you should be above 30 years. If you know you do not meet up with the age requirement, what you do is that you write your date of birth, but keep this place blank. Do not write anything here. Still go and submit your CV. Now, when the recruiting officers go through your CV and everything is okay, but the date is not there, they will still call you for an interview. This is known as keeping your employers of labor in suspense. You keep them in suspense. They want to know more about you because your CV has been professionally tailored and fashioned. Now, the sex. The sex, if you are male, you put male there. If you are female, you put female there. This is not... Sex doesn't mean how many times you do it a day or a month. Do not put 5 times, 10 times. That is not what they are asking for. Simply if you are male or if you are female. If you know you were once male, but you have now turned into a female, the one you initially is, the one God created you with, put it there. The marital status, put single if you are single. If you are married, put married. Now if the job require you to be married or require you to be single, just leave that place blank. If you are interested in the job, go for the interview. If you are able to convince them why you are the most qualified for that particular position, you might still end up getting it. Then the hometown, the state, the nationality, as the case may be. Then you now have the educational details. Start with the most recent one. For this, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, master's degree in what? International relations. Now, as an undergraduate, you have not yet gotten this opportunity. What you now put is that at the tail end there, you open a bracket and put in waiting or in view and close it. Any recruiting officer will know that you have not yet gotten the degree, but you are just expecting it. Then you now have a Mekai University, Chiba, as the case may be. Put it there. They are not interested in your nursery school, in your kindergarten, or even primary school. You could put in secondary school there, unless specifically demanded or asked for. Then the employment details, the most recent one. Make sure that you use proactive. You are proactive with this, and you use active words. What you actually did in those companies. Then you now have after the employment details, you now have other skills. Other skills are very, very important. And you are getting a certificate from this training. The certificate is already with the JCI in your school. You create the time, go and meet them and collect your certificate from them. Certificates are very, very important. Other skills sometimes are even more important than the degree you are coming out with from the institution. In this era we are now, you should be computer literate. Now, if you are computer literate, put it there. Computer literate, good knowledge of Microsoft and Excel, as well as the email and the internet. Just put it there. Fluent in 3 main Nigerian languages, or practical knowledge of the English language, exceptional analytical skills, ability to work under or no supervision, ability to work under pressure. Then this certificate you are getting now, put in their job awareness skills, negotiation skills, corporate ethics skills, those things you have in your certificate that we are going to be treating today and continually on this platform. Now, if that is noted, you now come down to the hobby section. The hobby is something you do outside your normal work activities or curriculum activities. Is actually very, 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 very important. Now, what do you put under your hobby section? This is how you do it. You put in 2 indoor activities, 2 indoor hobbies, and 2 outdoor hobbies to let them know that you are balanced. Outdoor activities shows that you are an extrovert. Indoor activities only shows that you are an introvert. Some companies need introverts. Some companies need those that are extroverted, the sanguines. Then some just need you to be balanced. So if you put the 2 indoor, 2 outdoors, it shows that you are balanced. Do you understand? The only thing is that make sure that what you are putting is something related to the job, something that helps promote you and makes you more fit, or makes you get nearer to securing that particular opportunity. What do I mean? For indoor, put things like playing chess and Scrabble. But if you don't know how to play chess, please do not add it there. In case the recruiting officer say, you are good with chess, you say, yes, I'm very good. I will now bring a chess board, let's play chess. You don't even know what a rook is. You don't know what a bishop is. That means you are a liar, and a liar cannot be trusted. A liar is somebody that no company would ever trust. So make sure that is something. Don't put snakes and ladders. Do not put playing video games. And do not put something like meeting people. Meeting people, is it an hobby? Do you meet animals and goats every day? You meet human beings normally because you are a social animal. So meeting people is not a hobby. Do not put eating food. Do not say you are a foodie. Being a foodie, eating, loving food is not a hobby. Some people say my hobby is eating food. It is wrong. It is not a hobby. It's something you do naturally. So then for the adult, do not put creative things like swimming, table tennis. Fighting is not a hobby. Playing a Candy Crush is not a hobby that you should be putting inside a CV. Then reference section, put 2 references. Do not put a upon request unless you know that you are hot in the labor market, they need you. But put 2 references, people that can say good things about you, people that know you very very well. Do not put persons that don't know you, so that the recruiting officers don't end up calling them, and those persons will be saying, who is this person? We don't know him or her. And this often happens with students that put their HOD or put their dean's contacts information, and the dean or student doesn't know you. You only happen to get his contact information maybe when you were having 1 or 2 issues with your courses in school. You now go and add his contact. If the company calls him and your dean is now saying, who is that person, what sets, is he my student? At that point in time, you might just have lost the opportunity. So only put those that you know very well and know you as well. And before even attaching any person as references, make sure you have told them beforehand. Now, if that is noted, we have taught the CV. We are now also going to touch the document that comes alongside the CV, and that's talking about the cover letter. The cover letter goes hand in hand with the CV. It's like the fiancé of the CV. And there are different kinds of cover letters. We have cover letters by name dropping, and that's the one we are going to touch here. Very very important. You drop the name of the company or the person that is introducing you. There are different types. If you have our book, or you're interested in the book or the other packages, you can have access to them. But I'm not here to sell anything. I'm just here, I'm going to deliver. Now, the CV in the 21st century, how do you write it? Now, the way you have been taught to write, even I myself, I was taught, is that you do the block format, you did the block, the slanty format, then you now come dear sir / madam, you now put application for the position of. All that is wrong. Please and please, do not do it that way unless you don't want to be called for an interview, unless you want your cover letter to end up in the trash can. And in case you don't know what a cover letter is the one you called application letter of inquiry. Professionally is called a cover letter. Now, if that is noted, how do you now write the cover letter? You start with your name, just like with the CV. Make it very bold. Your contacts, addresses, make sure that it is there. Then the date. Then address your application letter, your cover letter, to somebody in that company, not to whom it may concern. Here we have Theophilus Osagi, area manager. See, very very specific. It is going to someone in the company, the area manager, somebody in the position to call the shots and give you the job. Then here you now have dear Mr. Osagi, very specific, not dear sir / madam. Then you now have a colon there. You now have ATTN, not application for the position of, no, ATTN, Chief Financial Officer position. Then we now have, I have been encouraged by Jack Ahibe, area manager at Sharp Edge Telecom, Akure, Ondo. I have been encouraged by Daniel Ogbefun of Mega Rich Consults Limited. You understand? So that is how you drop a name, cover letter by name dropping. Then you now put all the necessary things here. I'm going to drop sample cover letters for you in the group here that you can tailor and you just fashion it. I'm not saying that you copy verbatim. It's going to be a kind of assistance for you to know exactly how you package a cover letter. Even the CV, I'm going to do the same with it. Then you now come down. Note this. Thank you for anticipated consideration. Do not say thank you for consideration, because they have not considered you yet. Then you use just faithfully your signature, then Idemudia what? Arnold Daniel. You put your name there. That is how you package the cover letter. Now, there has been a long debate for a very long time on the issue of the CV and the resume. I believe that sometime along your career journey, you have heard of resume, then you have also heard of CV. Some will say write a resume and submit to us. Some will say write a CV and submit to us. So which is right? Or which should you be doing as a graduate or undergraduate from OAU? Are they the same thing, or are they actually different? Now I'm going to treat this and explain it to you very, very well. First, look at the screen. What do you notice? You notice what? The woman and the child they had. Would you say they are doing exactly the same thing, or they are not doing the same thing? I want to take some seconds and think about it before I answer. Are they doing the same thing? Some will say yes, they are doing the same thing. How are they doing the same thing? Both of them are raising their legs. So you are right, they are doing the same thing. But are they really, really, really doing the same thing? No, of course they are not doing the same thing. How are they not doing the same thing? Both of them are raising their legs. The mother's legs are together, but the child's legs are spread apart. So they are not doing the same thing, but they are actually doing the same thing. That is exactly how the CV and the resume applies to this situation. The CV and the resume, they do the same thing in that they give you the job, but they are not exactly the same thing. How are they not exactly the same thing? This is it. Americans majorly, they make use of this resume. They ask you to write a resume. Companies like Chevron, they might ask you to write a resume. But Nigeria, we are colonized by the British, so we write CVs in Nigeria. Most European countries, they make mention of the CV. But the American nation, they ask, submit your resume, they talk about your resume. The resume is majorly used there, though you could still hear CV and all that. So that is the one differences. There are other differences that I will not be talking much on in this particular section. Then if that is noted, your CV passes through different application stages. Do we really need to dwell on this? Well, let's just talk on it briefly. You have the first stage. The first stage of your job application that your CV passes through is called what? The first stage is the reject pie. The second stage is the first shortlist. And the third stage is the final shortlist. And the fourth stage is the one that they now call you for this interview. The first stage at this point, let's look at it briefly. The first stage. Now, this is where most CVs and cover letters find themselves, the reject pile. You didn't do things very, very well. So the recruiting officer, straight your CV goes to the trash can. What goes wrong here is that many of you, many graduates, undergraduate, they have grammatical errors, punctuation marks error, wrong spellings, and applying for the wrong job. Application are arriving after the closing date. You have smears and the greases in the CV, and they don't even follow instructions. The CV ends up in the reject pile. Now, the second stage is the first short list, and during this part the recruiting officer checks the competency for the job as described in your skills, the skills that you stated in your application. They check out how competent are you for this particular position, and are you the sort of person, the kind of person that fits the job or that they actually need. Now, that is the question. If you pass that particular stage, you now go on to the third stage, which is the final short list. Once you get to this stage, Here, the recruiting officer tries and to be more specific. He may decide to contact stated references. Those references you put in there, it means that your CV is really doing well, but they want to create the final short list. So they call your references, and they based on, we are still going to touch on that references on later. They call your references, and if you meet up with what they need, you now get called for the interview, which is what the fourth stage of the recruiting exercise. So that ends the fourth stage. Now you do well with all that. A company might not call you for an interview immediately. They might want to check your classroom intelligence or your acts based, and this depends on the company in question. Most companies these days, they just keep the aptitude test stage. They don't want to waste resources and time and money organizing aptitude test. But some companies still organize aptitude test. They use it for screening one, and they also use it to test your classroom intelligence. How smart are you? Your logical reasoning ability, and your arts generally. I'm not going to dwell much on this. For the aptitude test, you are going to be tested on quantitative reasoning, your simple arithmetic and mathematical skills, verbal reasoning, your communication skills, talking about English, summary, comprehension. And if you wrote your JAMB yourself, your UNE or UNTE as it's called now, you are not going to have problem with this stage, with this aptitude test stage. Then we have the logical reasoning ability. They test your logic. Then we have the spatial arrangement test. Now you go through this, we are going to go straight to the third part of the recruiting exercise and talking about the job interview proper itself. The job interview proper is like the white room judgments, where you meet the recruiting officers who happen to be the judges, the gods that will now pass the final judgment on whether you are going to be recruited or if you are not going to get that particular opportunity. Now, for this third stage, the job hunters or job seekers, they are going to be tested in three key areas. The first one, we are looking at the physical packaging, then the mental packaging, then finally the psychological packaging. And the mental and psychological packagings, they border on body languages. The recruiting officers want to learn more about you, the innate you, the real you, aside the CV or the physical thing that they are seeing. Now, let's get it started. What is physical packaging? The physical packaging entails how you look, how you dress, your attire for the interview, your hairstyle, your hairdo, your makeup, your dressing, right down to even the perfume you are putting on. All this entails the physical packaging. Now, for interviews, of course, the women dress will differ from the way the women dress. Now, if you are going for any interview, the advice is that, let me sip a glass of water. Okay. Now, if you are going for any interview concerning your physical packaging, it is advised that you dress professionally on a suit. It is not a must, it depends on the company, but I advise you dress on a suit, not a coat. The suit is the one that follows your body, fits you, makes you look professional, like Frank Edouard who wants to be a millionaire. Exactly, that's a suit for you. It follows your body, it hugs you. Not the one that is so big, a coat, you now look like Superman, like Clark Kent. No. Now, there are 4 colors of suit, professional colors. We have the black, the navy blue, the dark brown, and the harsh color. Anything aside this, like purple, green, white, leave it for wedding occasions, social activities. Then, if you are putting on a plain suit, plain shirt, plain tie, black belt goes with black shoe for males, and make sure that your shirt you look fitted. That is for male. Then trim your hair. If you have beards, comb them. Do not let them get scattered and you are not looking like a terrorist. Please comb your beards. There's nothing wrong with having beards, but comb them, look neat. Then put on a mild smelling perfume, not a corrosive, harsh smelling perfume. Now for the females. For the females, also dress on suit. Observe the colors as well. Now, if you know you are a female, you know that you are well endowed, and you are putting on a camisole. Please make sure that everything is well covered and packaged. Cover up those cleavages. They are not needed. They are not necessary. This is an interview, not a date, not a manhunt. You can put on a trouser suit or a skirt suit depending on the environment. There are some places in the country where trousers are not allowed. You don't put on trousers and go for interviews in those environments. You might not even be allowed into the interview environment. And there are some companies, they require you to put on trousers, not skirt. You are putting on skirt, make sure it's a skirt that extends below and just below your knee, not the one that jumps up and is before your knee. You are now sitting down. You know, anytime you sit down as a lady, your skirt pushes back. Things that recruiting officers are not supposed to see, they now start seeing them. No, not during the interview. Now let's look at these suits or coats, as the case may be. Now this very first man here is putting on a suit, and this is a one button suit. If you are putting on a one button suit, you button it. See the brown, this brown color, you put on the tie, looking very, very sweet. This man also is putting on a suit. This putting on a suit. This is a two button suit. You are putting on a two button suit. You button the first one, leave the second one fly. You look sweet and professional. These two guys are looking okay. What's the problem with this guy? This guy is dressed like a mafia. If like he's dressed like a mafia. There's nothing wrong with dressing like this, but you are going for the interview the first time, you do not dress like this. You, after you have gotten the job, you can dress like this. Now this is it for what? The females. Now this is a female. This is putting on a suit. Both of them are putting on suits, but this one looks more professional. This one looks, if you have gotten the job, you can dress like this, and you are going for an interview as a lady. You do not carry a big handbag like it's like Ghana must go, as if you are going for shopping. Make sure you do everything with moderation. If you are going for an interview as well as a lady, talking about your hairstyle, your hairdo, there are two professional colors of hair, either all black or all brown. Anything multicolored, purple, green, white, yellow, you are not looking like a masquerade or mannequin. It's not allowed for professional interviews. Please dress professionally. If you know you can put on earrings, there is nothing wrong with it, but all those chainsaw earrings, tire earrings that are like 8 to 10 feet long, avoid them during interviews, so that they don't start dragging on the floor or fling into a machine and your ears get pulled out, especially those that will be interviewing in the lab. Then also those bone straight head, long hair that will be sweeping the floor, avoid them during interviews. Be moderate. You know you have like 10 holes around your ears. If you are going for an interview, one earring is enough. Not 10 holes around your ears with different colors of earrings. Please look professional. Do not look like a prostitute going for an interview, please. Sorry for using that word, but I'm trying to drive home my points. Now, if that is noted, do not wear native attire, please, for goodness sake. And do not dress like our grandfathers. The way this, you see this kind of ties, this tie is outdated, and these are all coats. Please do not dress like this for an interview. Unless you are the CEO of the company, you are allowed to dress like this. But young men, young ladies, dress sweet, dress smart and professional. Do not wear igele. Do not wear hair ties. Do not wear native attire whatsoever for an interview. After you have gotten the interview, you cannot put on those native attire. Wearing caps, wearing hats, oversized coats, ashoke is not allowed. Then there are different kinds of interviews. We have the breakfast, the luncheon, the dinner. The telephone in-house one-on-one panel case stress impromptu interview. Now this is very, very detailed. Maybe on another seminar we just dwell on the types of interviews, but I'm going to summarize it a bit because I'm even already getting a little bit tired. Maybe we should have broken this seminar on job into 2 parts, but you guys will let me know in the comment section if the seminar should be broken into 2 parts, if we should do it again, or we just go straight to the second seminar on online businesses. You let me know. But the breakfast interview, any interview that takes place in a restaurant in the morning or in a hotel in the morning, that is breakfast, in the afternoon, lunch, in the evening, dinner, interview. There are interviews like that. You'll be offered things to eat. You'll be offered breakfast. Now, if you are offered a meal during an interview, please do not go for an interview hungry, fasting. You now say, share. They give, I learned that they give breakfast, they give food, you now fast for 2-3 days, and you now get hungry, you land in the interview arena. Before they even ask you, you now say, yes, I'm hungry. And you now order for grass cutter pepper soup, you order for pounded yam with ogbono soup, and you eat and get so filled that you even sleep off. You are not able to do anything. You came to eat during the interview. Do not ask for any alcoholic drink whatsoever, please. Then we have the telephone interview that takes place over the phone. In-house interview, the job hunters are placed in-house and they are observed. We have even done this in our own firm. And yes, there's something like that in Nigeria, but it's not for interview. You call it Big Brother Nigeria, where people are placed in-house and they go through a form of activities and interview, and one person in the end wins the whole drama. But I wish something educational, something equally educational would have been organized by these promoters, but it's not being done. Then we have the one-on-one interview, one person interviews you. Then we have the panel interview, a group of persons. We have the case interview, the stress interview, the impromptu interview. Then aside the different types of interview, we have different kinds of interviewers as well. This is very, very important. It's good you know the kind of interviewer so that when you meet them, you know how to comport yourself. Now, there is the interview called the body. The body is like your friend. Before, as you walk into the interview room, this person is like all over you. Oh, how are you doing, my friend? And the person starts talking about football, start talking about relationship. You feel at home and you now start talking about yourself. That is exactly what he or she, the interviewer, wants to do. He wants you to lower your guard so that you now start talking about yourself. And this is where many job hunters, they miss it. You now see job hunters now start discovering about their family affairs, how frustrated they are, how many relationships they have been into, and they now start saying that they have lost hope in life, they are frustrated. You know that you have just lost that opportunity, because there is no company that wants a frustrated individual. So please be mindful of what you say. Even if they are discussing football and you're a football fanatic, do not miss talk at all. You came for an interview, do not be rude. Smile. Don't tell the interviewer, please, I'm not interested in all this. You are saying I came for an interview, just interview me and let me go. You are being rude. You will not get that opportunity. So I just decided to dwell on that. I'm going to drop this for you to read through and get familiar with them. Now, also we have the way you should conduct yourself even before going for the interview, and on getting to the interview arena, and during the interview proper himself. I'm going to show you things you should do. First, if you are going for an interview, what do you eat? I advise that you eat something. But what kind of food should you eat? If you know that you are someone that is affected by beans, by eggs, whether fried or boiled, or any kind of egg, whether scrambled, or vegetables, or pepper soup, you avoid some kind of meat. Take for instance, you eat boiled or fried egg or beans for an interview, and you go for the interview, and as the recruiting officer is talking to you, your stomach is disturbing you, and before you know, you now fat, and the last one, boom, coming out from your body, and you now jump up and you shout Jesus, and you foul up the whole environment. Even if you do it silently with the AC in the room and everything in the room, it will come out, and the recruiting officers or officers are going to know that you are the one that polluted the environment. This is not a funny matter. Please be mindful of what you eat. Eat what will not disturb your tummy. And also, how you treat the gate man matters a whole lot. If you know the interview is 12 o'clock, please go there, say by 11:30 you are there. Do not go there by 8 a.m. you are already there, and you will not be the one to open the gate for them. Please do not know or appear desperate. 11:30 you are there. Now let me cite an example. Let's say an interview is 12 o'clock, and you got there by 5 minutes to 12, and you are knocking on the gate for the gate man. You can see the gate man, but it appears as if he's sleeping, he's resting his head, and you are checking the time, 1 minute and 4 minutes to 12, and you have been told that it is not good to go late for your interview, or even the gate will be clear, and the gate man is slowly coming to the gate, and finally he opens the gate. Some persons that will not get into the as they enter, especially ladies, they are now very, very angry. They will now turn to the gate man and he's like a serpent, and they will not even tell the gate man, you see your life, lazy gate man, at this time of the day, it's not even yet afternoon, you are sleeping, that's why you are even a gate man. And they will now walk in, look back, and and they are still very angry, and they will now give the gate man whacker. Now you're not moving. What you don't know is that is not actually a gate man. That is a recruiting officer posing as a gate man. They want to know the kind of persons that are coming for an interview, and you have just disqualified yourself. Next time you are going for an interview, what you do is that if such things happen, even if you are angry, contain your anger. You can be insulting the gate man inside your mind. The gate man is not going to know, and you are smiling, opening your teeth, but you are insulting the gate man inside. And as you walk in, give him 200 naira. Say, please, I know it's it's not easy. Use this 200 naira to just buy bottled water. The gate man, as you walk in, the gate man is not actually a gate man, because you have built rapport with him. He's going to call ahead, and your interview is going to go on very, very smooth. Now, also, how do you relate with the recruiting office? With fellow job hunters, job seekers during interview? Maintain a cordial relationship. Do not insult anyone. Do not shout on anyone. Don't go there and be toasting people. Don't go there and be flashing your latest iPhones and Samsung Galaxy, your latest gadgets. It is not needed. Also, when you walk into an interview environment and you discover that the screen is on, maybe the Animal Planet is being shown, and these are tests, and you see the animal, you now see a lion or a tiger chasing a zebra. You know the way they do it, slow motion. As the thing is on slow motion, you are there watching as a lady, let's say, and you just get tired. Say, what is this? What concerns me with lion chasing zebra? You now take the remote control and you now point, bang, bang, bang. You now take it to what? African magic or Z word. Let's say it's African magic, and African you now open African magic. African magic. Immediately you now sit you with Agu on red wrapper in the village with short broom, and short cutlass, doing incantation in the shrine. And from the shrine, it now disappears and appears in the city, in the office of a billionaire in the office that is controlling and talking about containers and consignment coming in. And you now see Chinwetalu argue with an evil expression on the face, point the short broom and the cutlass at the same time. Something like electricity will go out, hit the rich man on the forehead. The rich man convulses and dies there, and you are now laughing, nodding your head. That is what you came to a job interview to watch. My dear, you might end up not getting that particular job opportunity. Then also, if you see newspapers, let's say the TV is not on, you see magazines, you see newspapers, and you see glamour, those of fashion, you now go there, go through, you see newspapers, ASU on strike, you throw it away, fear now 1,000 naira per, you say now this, I mean, you throw it away. Then you now see the one titled, I dated him for 10 years and he abandoned me for an 18 years old girl. You are not shit. That is how wicked men are. Men are wicked. Men are heartless. Men are scum. And they are watching you through the CCTV, or even among those job hunters, there are recruiting officers posing as job hunters. My dear, at that point in time, that opportunity is gone. There are many tests. You need to coordinate yourself very, very well during the recruiting exercise. And of course, there are the psychological tests during the sensitization in your school. We dwelt on some of these things. The dot test, how you knock on the door, on an office door, an interview room. You knock professionally, you knock 2 times. Do not bang on the door, do not punch the door open. You knock professionally. Now let's look at the diagram. The door test, you see this job hunters knock on the door and it was not open. He punched the door open and tried to open the door, scaring the recruiting officer. Please, if the door is closed, even if it's a glass door, knock 2 times, wait for a voice to ask you in. No one asks you in, knock the second time. After the second time, they want you to use your initiative, open the door and walk in. If it's like this, the door is left slightly open, left ajar, you do not need to knock on the door, just walk in. That is the door test. Now we have the handshake test. Now look at the screen, you see the crusher. Then the other one with the fish is called the dead fish handshake. They are opposite of the other. The crusher is when you grab the palm of the recruiting officer, you squeeze it and he feels the pain. Please and please don't do that. You are going to like make the recruiting officer not feel happy. You are broken his wrist. The interview is going to be tough for you. Now the dead fish handshake is you just leave your palm limp. It's actually a sign of inferiority complex. It is not cool. It's not a good thing to do. Let the pressure of the palm of the recruiting officer match yours. And please don't be proactive with the handshake. Wait for the recruiting officers to give you the handshake before you pick it up. Don't just stretch your hand to give an handshake, because the recruiting officer might ignore the handshake and you start feeling uncomfortable. Then also, you see the right way to shake. You stretch out your hand, tilt downwards as a lady, hold firmly. If you are a Muslim lady, of course, no male is going to shake your hands. You understand that. Then also, before we round it up, you are going to be asked different questions during the interview. After shaking hands, you are going to see a chair or different kinds of chair. That's the chair test. You are supposed to make a polite and humble request. May I sit down, please? If nobody answers you, pick a chair and sit down. The moment you are seated, because they didn't ask you to sit down, they might question you. It's a test, please. 3 to 4 questions at the same time. How dare you sit down? Who told you to sit down? What are you doing here? What is your name? Do not get angry and say, hey Joe, please take it easy. Are we quarreling? Which question do you want me to answer first? No, not at all. Also, please, I plead with you. Do not jump up and start getting fidgety. You now run out of the interview environment. It shows that you lack confidence. As you run out of the interview environment, you are run out of the opportunity. Also, when you see different kinds of chairs, you need to sit on the right chair. You might see the plastic chair, the cane rack chair, the bend, the swivel chair. You sit on the right chair. The question is, which is the right chair? If you sit on the plastic chair, the cane rack chair, the bench, what are you telling them about your personality? You are simply telling them you have inferiority complex. Of all the chairs, the plastic chair you then feel to sit on. If you sit on the cushion chair, the seated, the one you have in your parlor, you now relax, cross your legs, you are telling them you get the opportunity, you are most likely going to be a lazy staff. These are body languages. Now, if you watch movies like Lie to Me, Mentalist, Criminal Minds, you see all these things. They use it to catch criminals and recruiting the 21st century. These styles, tactics, body languages are being used to recruit staff. Now, questions will start coming. Some mind-boggling, teasing, radioactive, mesmerizing, and scintillating questions. For instance, they ask you, do you have a girlfriend or do you have a boyfriend? If you say yes, you have failed the question. If you say no, you have also failed the question. So, how do you now answer such a technical question? The answer is that you should know the meaning of a girlfriend. Who is a girlfriend? A girlfriend, dictionary meaning, who is a girlfriend? A girlfriend is somebody that you are having an amoral relationship with, a relationship that is not platonic in nature. Meaning that if you say yes, you don't know that means you don't know the meaning of a girlfriend. And if you say no, you don't have a girlfriend, another question will now come. Do you mean that you don't have anyone in your life? Maybe you say, no, I'm born again, I don't do that. Or no, I'm an affair, I don't do that. You see, as you mean nobody in your life, you say, no, I don't have anyone. Your case is even worse than somebody that has a girlfriend, 10, 20 girlfriend. Why? Because if at this stage of your life, there is no one in your life, nobody in your life, in your school, nobody wanted you. In your state, your local government, nobody wanted you. In the whole country, the whole world, all the males and all the females, they have rejected you. Nobody wants you. If nobody wants you, why do you think a company will want you? Your case is very, very serious. It's a spiritual and a psychological problem. They need to take you to the village, pass a white cock around your head, and release it into the evil forest. Jokes aside, you should have someone in your life. How do you answer? Let them know that you have a fiancé. A fiancé is recognized. It's not a girlfriend. And a fiancé is someone you have. The relationship is platonic. Not the kind of fiancéship that students have. Do you understand? You don't go. That is how you answer. Nay, what was your favorite course in school? Any course you know you can defend. Tell them the course because they might give you a marker and say, go to the board and explain, teach us what you know about your favorite course. If you want to feel big and look intelligent, now tell them cost accounting or fluid mechanics. They will now give you a marker, teach us everything you know about fluid mechanics or cost accounting, and you are now fidgeting. You cannot defend your best course. You have lost that opportunity already. Who is or was your worst lecturer? The moment you mention a lecturer that's as your worst lecturer, your failure has started already. Tell them you don't have any worse or worst lecturer, that all the lecturers you had brought out the best in you. If you are an animal, what kind of animal would you like to be? Can you tell a lie for this firm or organization? What do you want us to pay you? All these questions, just go to our YouTube channel and you'll see all these questions and many more already answered there. Now, if you answer all those questions, in the end, the recruiting officer or officer will now ask you, do you have a question? Yes. Tell them yes and answer. First you thank them, then you now ask intelligent questions. Do not ask questions that are rude and not intelligent. Don't ask them, sir, I've been seeing ladies passing here and they look single. I want to find out if they are single, because me myself, I'm very, very much single and searching. Don't ask questions like that. Don't ask them, you have told me already that the closing time is 4 p.m. If I now work 5 to 6 o'clock, peradventure I work till 6 o'clock, am I going to be paid extra for those 2 hours? Don't appear greedy. Also, don't ask them, and do you give bonuses? Do you give allowances? Do you give loans? Don't ask questions like that, please. What questions do you ask? I ask them, please, I thank you very much, and I want to know more about the objectives of this company. I already know this. Could you expatiate more on them? I want to find out, how I can be of better value, add more to this company to take it to the next level. After everything, thank them, even ask them for their contacts. They are going to give you their contact. If they ask you, why do you want the contact, let them know you want to send them messages and appreciate them. If you do that, let's say among 10 persons interviewed, 8 qualified, and the recruiting officers don't know the ones to pick out of the 8 because the job position is just for 3. If you are among those that sent a thank you message, you will end up likely being shortlisted. So that is it for the recruitment in the 21st century. Now, if you go for an interview, the first one, the second one, the third one, the fifth one, the fourth one, the sixth, and you don't get it, please, I plead with you in the name of God, do not quit. Do not end up committing suicide as some of our youths are doing. The next job, the next interview might just be the one that will give you that opportunity you have been craving for. So with that, I say thank you, students of OAU. It's been a wonderful time. I really appreciate you guys, your patience and all that during all these months and period. I really appreciate you, and I believe that we are here to get the best from this training. We have a lot of good packages for you guys. So thank you once again, and God bless you. And don't forget, drop your questions in the chat box. I will attend to all of them. Thank you.